Okay, now I'm ready to go. Are you? Have you been fly fishing? Have you fly fished in Wyoming? Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, Martha and I on our trip around the state, Martha's good-natured heart has allowed me to go fishing along the way. What I'd like to do today is share some of the adventures that we had on fishing and some of the memories from past fishing episodes that I've had in the state. And our adventure starts over in Laramie, and Laramie is just west of here. And we always, in the past, I've always stopped at the fly shop down at the bottom of the hill before we go up into Centennial in the mountains. And there I get my fishing license and I get a supply of flies, the appropriate flies for up there. And of course, I always have to double up on the amount of flies I might need because I always offer up flies to the trees behind me. It's like half of my flies are up in the trees over there. If anybody could ever harvest them, it'd be great. But we got over there, we got started fishing. I found that Martha has a talent for fly fishing. And what she can do is she can take the line and thread the hook just as quick as that. For me, it takes me maybe 3, 4, 5, all right, 10 times trying to get that line through the hook. And now Martha even knows how to go ahead and tie it off and finish the hook up. So she knows how to tie a fly onto a line. Okay, so I like dry flying as opposed to wet flying. So a dry fly sits on top of the water. Wet fly goes under the water for the fish. But I like it on top of the water because then that way I see the fish come and take the fly. And when that happens, well, before it happens, I gotta watch my fly because I gotta raise my rod when it happens. So I'm watching. I got my line out there in the water. This is it, Mirror Lake. Anybody know where Mirror Lake? Do you know Mirror Lake? I see one hand going up. So I have my line out there, and in my peripheral vision, I can see the fish jumping out of the water everywhere else except right there at my fly. So I'm watching, but every time a fish jumps out of the water, I hear Martha behind me going, hee, hee, hee. Okay, our adventure carries on. We go over to the Pinedale. Over in Pinedale, it's not really Pinedale, it's the Green River area. And let me stop for a moment because I want to tell you, I used to travel all over the state. And I called on doctors, hospitals, and clinics all over the state. And I would wear a little fly on my lapel. I don't know if you can see it there at home, but I'm wearing a fly on my lapel. Well, I would wear that on my jacket when I walked into a doctor's office. And the doctor would see it and he would be, he'd just talk fly fishing. And invariably, they would tell me where to go fly fishing. So back to Pinedale and Green River, the doctor had told me, go over to this access site and you'll do well. And well, when the doctor told me that, I went over, and when I fished there, every single time I would cast out into the water, I had a strike, every single time. So Martha and I sought that out this time. I found that exact same spot. It's beautiful, just gorgeous water coming down into a nice pool here for dry fishing, and then wet fishing over here by some rapids, or what we call rapids. Okay, I got nothing. I got nothing at all. Zilch. So my fish count so far is 1. I got 1 over in Mirror Lake. I got 0 over in the Green River. So we moved on. We moved on to the Jackson and Grand Teton area. Now over there, the first place we went to was over by a dam or a reservoir. And I got down where the water was coming out, a nice current going by. So I used a nice floating I forget what it's called, that the guy at the fly store said I needed to have. Cost me $42 for flies. So the first time, as soon as I cast in the water, I got a strike. I guess I'm out of practice. Normally you would go like this and set the hook. I go like this and pop the hook right off my line. Oh, well, I didn't catch anything there, but it reminds me of an adventure that I had. Two adventures, really. One, some buddies and I were fishing, and we were wading into the water, and when we weren't having any luck, and so we got in, and when you don't have luck, you change your fly. You change your fly over and over again until you find out what the fish like, and then that's what you use. Well, I'm on my fifth fly. I hang them right here on my vest. When it doesn't work, I try another and another. Well, I get out of the water. I only get 3 to 5 feet out of the water, and then I get down on the ground. You know, I'm just sitting on the ground. You know, my legs spread. You could call it mansplaining if you want, but I'm sitting on the ground. And I'm tying my new fly on there, I get it done, and there's a little bit of line left over. So I bite that off, and as I bring my hands down, I see that I have a rattlesnake right between my knees, right here, and I'm sitting on the ground. Mr. Cool, Calm, and Collected. I popped off out of there so quickly, you wouldn't believe it. But now remember, I had just hooked that I just put my hook on the line. So I go down to the rattlesnake, he strikes my hook, and I've now hooked a rattlesnake. And he slithers off into the water right there. My buddies just down the way, they hadn't caught anything all day. They see me, I've got something on the line. So they stop fishing, they come down to see what I've got. They come down, they see it's a 3-foot rattlesnake on my line. Now, I did donate that fly to the rattlesnake. So I just gave it a quick jerk, pop that line, and let him go. Okay, one more story over there. And a buddy and I were fishing, and we were in the middle of the river, maybe 100 feet apart. And all of a sudden, we hear this big roar from behind us. And it's 50 elk, I kid you not, 50 elk come rushing out of the woods into the water right between us and into the woods on the other side. And we were dumbfounded, absolutely dumbfounded, and in awe of what just happened. Now, Martha and I went up and fished the Madison in Yellowstone. We went to 7 spots, 7 spots. Fish count, 0. Strikes, 0. Oh, no. And the cost so far is $182 for licenses and flies, extra flies. Fish count, 2 so far. We did go to Sylvan Lake and picked up one more fish. I was able to catch a beautiful cutthroat trout in Yellowstone. But what I haven't been able to convey to you is how gorgeous it is. While it cost us around $182 for all that fishing equipment, what was priceless, absolutely priceless, was the beauty that we experienced being on those rivers with the beautiful blue, crystal blue skies, the verdant green backdrop of the pine trees. And we saw many lakes, so many gorgeous places. That was priceless. Can you tell I like fishing? Can you? I highly recommend it. Fishing right here in Wyoming. Madam Toastmaster.